It's a safe space. Everyone has a safe space. You go in a group with like-minded people. You say your piece. You have your thoughts. You have your things you want to protect. You have these ideas. You get in there and you talk the way you want to talk. One locker room space is a barbershop.
I think it's a part of just our society, period. Like, locker room talk is something that you're gonna do in some form, like, because you're gonna have friends, you're gonna have groups that you're gonna be around.
You gotta think about what the locker room is. It was a place of meeting, a place of instruction, and also a place of a safe place, safe haven. When you are in a locker room, you're supposed to be in there with individuals who are either like-minded or have the same goal, the same attributes, things of that nature. Locker room talk in that space is usually nothing but positive.
And you're never gonna find somebody that's got the exact same point of view that you do. There's always, I've found in all my friends in life and all the people I've really actually known in life, I don't think there's ever been anybody I've met or known that I agree with every little thing that they do, and I don't ever expect to find one.
Man, you just can't have them no more. It's a wrap. Because me playing sports my whole life, I know we said some things that we would regret if anybody heard we said it.
Right now in society, we have these bubbles that we know it's locker room talk. We know it's a safe space, and we say these things to relieve stress or something. But then if we get out, we embarrassed. But then everybody like to act like they so perfect. What's up, Alphas? It's your boy Alphas May, looking cute, looking clean, looking sexy. Check out the merch. And above, we have a new person. I want him to introduce himself, tell them what you're part of, tell them where they can find you, all that stuff. Sonny.
What's good, everybody? Name's Sonny Pillow. Really, I'm not too many places. I do frequent a growth group on Thursday, New Heights growth group. It's pretty kind of like an open discussion thing and a think tank thing where we just go at some topics. Something like this. Facebook right now. I got some things in the work for a podcast and YouTube, so stay tuned. Other than that, I'm here.
Yeah, and we're going to promote Sonny podcast when it come out because, we show love to all the podcasts. Speaking of podcasts, we have the Broke Ugly Dudes. One of the Broke Ugly Dudes right here, Montay, a.k.a. Montay. How you doing today, my guy?
What's up, representative of the Broke Ugly Dudes podcast, back again to drop some of this hot fire. Remember, don't at me, just accept me. Glad to be back again on the greatest show on television, or one of, not yet, but we know it will be.
And up top, that top right corner, neighborhood scumbag. You can always find him on 4chan or arguing with some random person on Twitter. Tori, aka Afro Combi. How you doing today, my guy?
You already know, chilling. Like your local neighborhood scumbag, checking in, wasting time, recovering from Halloween.
It's the Halloween parties went crazy. Hope everybody was safe. No.
Not remotely.
Yeah, we had a situation with Henry Ruggs. Prayers out to everybody in that situation. No drinking and driving and all that stuff. I know we want to have fun, and COVID and keep everybody down, but we want to be responsible and everything else. So prayers out to everybody in that situation, because that's a tragic situation. But today's episode of Man Cave is a big one. Locker room talk. Now, what is locker room talk? It's when you get together as a group of, people say men, but women do it too, in a closed area. It's when you talk and you say things that you won't say in public. You're not quite confident enough to say it in public. Yeah, you're not quite confident enough to say something that what you say in public, whether it's random gossip, because that's locker room talk too. I know that might be, you might consider that some other time. No, that's locker room talk. A lot of locker rooms come up with gossip. You're talking about who you done slept with, who you done did whatever with, who you done ran into.
Who got smashed, who got passed.
Yeah, all that gossip and all that random talk. You talk crazy about certain people. You say certain jokes you wouldn't say. So today episode, I want to break down the thought process of locker room talk, the toxicity of it. Is it healthy? Is it kind of a therapy? We done talked about all this stuff. It's all kind of different stuff. Does it make you feel like a man? All those little intricacies of it. So I'm gonna start off with Tori. I usually don't start with Tori, so we're gonna start with Tori. Tori, let me know what you think about locker room talk and all the stuff that comes with it, and what you think about it personally, and then we're gonna get into all the little nitty gritty stuff.
Well, you know me personally. I'm not a locker room talk kind of person. I'm very forward, very in your face. I don't care if I offend you or not. Anything I'm gonna say behind closed doors, I'm gonna say out in the open, good or bad. Most of the time it ends up bad, but that keeps life interesting. So you already know. I mean, but I understand the thought process behind it. Everyone's got that little group where you can sort of say the stuff that you've been really wanting to say, but you really, in some certain situations, you can't say. So to circle back to what you're saying, I feel like in that way, locker room talk can be a therapeutic experience. Just being able to say whatever random crazy stuff is on your mind, and you ain't finna get judged to the wall and looked at super crazy. It can be a joke and just keep it moving. Or if need be, it can be a serious learning talk and you keep it moving. Either way, it ain't got to be something that you got to do out in public and worry about being vehemently judged for. So, and as far as toxicity goes, as long as you keep it in your friend group, man, let the toxicity be toxicity. It's been here for long before any of us were, and it ain't going nowhere no time soon.
Interesting perspective. Montay, I want to know your thoughts on this simple locker room talk.
I mean, mostly I don't really got too much issues with locker room talk. Like it's something that I think it's a part of just our society. Period. Like locker room talk is something that you're gonna do in some form. Like, because you're gonna have friends, you're gonna have groups that you're gonna be around, that you're gonna be more comfortable talking about certain things than you will about with other groups. Like whether even if it's something something as simple as maybe movies. Like, okay, you're gonna have people that you're gonna feel more comfortable talking about movies with because you're gonna identify with them more. So just locker room talk in of in general isn't really bad. Now, what makes it bad or what can make it an issue would be what you're talking about with these other people. Just as an example, we just had in the NFL, a whole big scandal with the Raiders head coach. His quote unquote locker room talk, from years ago revealed some things about him that you weren't really, good. And, so the thing about locker room talk is that it can expose a side of you that even though it's there, not everybody knows. So it can be good or bad depending on what comes out or like who you actually are behind those closed doors. So
I didn't think about that.
So I don't really have an issue with the talk. It's just what comes out in those talks. Like, because ultimately, like I said, when we're around different people or just people in general, all the sides of you don't come out. You're gonna have those parts of you, those sides of you, or the things that you're more willing to talk about with certain people. It's just what are those things that's gonna determine, is this locker room talk good? Is it bad? So but overall, I don't really have too much issue with it because it's gonna happen anyway. We gossip, like we talk. We got friend groups. We got groups we're gonna be around. We gonna do this. We're gonna do locker room talk. We're gonna tell things. So just what comes out really is just the issue with me. Other than that, it is what it is.
That is true. We're gonna conceptualize a little more soon, but Sonny, your thoughts on the overall topic, locker room talk?
Absolutely. I'm gonna try not to conceptualize it too much right now, because that's kind of my lane. But yeah, so those who do know me, and I'm sure most of you don't, as I'm kind of new here, but those on the panel that know me, I was an athlete in my previous life, or previous years. I feel old now, but so you gotta think about what the locker room is. It was a place of meeting, a place of instruction, and also a place of a safe place, safe haven. When you are in a locker room, you're supposed to be in there with individuals who are either like-minded or have the same goal, the same attributes, things of that nature. Locker room talk in that space is usually nothing but positive. You can play devil's advocate and be like, oh yeah, y'all could be talking about really risque things. You could be saying stuff that could be hurtful to other people, but that group of people are supposed to be the ones that are non-judgmental, supportive, and at the same time corrective. They hold you accountable. That's the structure of a locker room, right? Where it becomes an issue, if you will. And I think we all have figured this out at some point in time in our life. We decided to take our talk that should have been in the locker room out into the public, and public means just in an area or a space with people that we cannot truly, I don't even want to say trust, but we don't have a code of conduct that we agree upon, right? Henceforth, talking about the coach, he did that over email. Come on, man. Like you left a bread trail of your ideas and thoughts, which are truthfully yours. It's your opinion. Nobody can make you or break you for your opinion. But you left that out to be sought after by other folk. That's idiotic. Like you don't do that outside of the safe place, outside of the safe haven. So that's my general thing on it. I feel like it's necessary. It's not a gender specific thing, but especially males, there's not a lot of outlets for us to get together in places or just get together in a structure of conversation and get out a lot of the pressures or get out a lot of the weight that we as men deal with, or we as men sometimes come in contact with on a daily basis. Most of the time because we're too busy doing something, or other times because, just like I said, there's no space that's being carved out. So when you can get to the locker room, which isn't a remote place, it's wherever your guys are at. It's a like my boy said, therapeutic. So that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, and this conversation evolving because this is what I wanted to do. It's evolving because now we go into the structure because the locker room have evolved. As Sonny just said, the locker room has evolved. Now it's a safe space. Everyone has a safe space. You go in a group with like-minded people. You say your piece. You have your thoughts. You have your things you want to protect. You have these ideas. You get in there and you talk the way you want to talk. One locker room space is a barbershop. Most people talk crazy.
I ain't seen one in a second.
Bro, it's people, you go in a barbershop. I went to like Savannah, Georgia. Ain't never met nobody in there, and we talk trash about sports. Could do like, you like Melo? Sonny know I love Melo.
Yeah.
Melo played trash for the Knicks. No, that wasn't Savannah. That was New York. That was New York. He was like, man, Melo played trash. I like, you don't ever diss Melo. He the only reason y'all even been relevant in 20 years.
These are facts.
And we just went at it. And it wasn't no animosity. It was just like, hey, this is what we do. We talking sports. It's the barbershop. Some old man say something crazy. Jordan and LeBron can never touch Bill Russell. Like, Bill Russell was 6'7", dog. Playing back when people were 5'5", but you're going to have that old man talk, say that. It's
couldn't even shoot a jumper.
Yeah, it was fun. Like, but he played against a bunch of dudes like Bob Cousy who couldn't dribble with his left hand. What he could easily block, dog. He just going like this. But, and that's no shot at them. I actually like Bill and Wilt was actually amazing. They were before their time, but
Facts.
But all the other people wasn't. But that's what locker room talk is that safe space. Women have it at the beauty shop. When they gossip, when they're on the phone, they got little group chats now. But now it's more accessible. As we said, John Gruden was talking, but he was talking through an email. That's a little earlier than a lot of y'all young kids.
Yeah.
But now it's through text and stuff. If some people text get out, a lot of people be looking a little weird out here.
Hit the group text button on the single person text.
Yeah, so like if the group chat messages get out, it'll look a little crazy. And by the way, everybody, most 99% of people got it, unless you completely introverted and have like you got something that in a text message you done said that was kind of wild. That a lot of people that you don't want to
go check my Twitter. Go check my Twitter. I got something I said kind of wild, guaranteed
I'm just saying that's how life is. But right now in society, we have these bubbles that we know it's locker room talk. We know it's a safe space, and we say these things to relieve stress or something. But then if we get out, we embarrassed. But then everybody like to act like they so perfect.
That's why I see a therapist.
Yeah, we all got everybody like, oh, you said
Get it
that?
all out.
You did this? You did that? Oh, you that kind of person? Oh, you had a little bit of hint of misogyny? You had that little joke. It was
I got a whole lot of misogyny.
At least you admit it till you open it, so y'all know now. And everybody, and the thing is, people like in these spaces, you gotta understand, in spaces, it will be people that be jealous of other people. So then they get in these spaces and they try to ruin you and they try to down everything you do, but they will never want what they say to get out. Because it's a recent example is a lady who spoke at the thing against Dave Chappelle. I'm not defending Dave. All that don't matter to me. That's celebrity and all Twitter and all that stuff. All that.
I am defending Dave 24/7.
In the end of the day, what I'm saying is, in real life, it don't matter because people gonna get over it in 3 months. That's how this goes. Matter of fact, real life, they position themselves to get more position and power because they already done probably did it. They probably got somebody in an executive position just to appease the people. And they not going to take Dave's show down. He's going to do the same. And then the next event that happened, they're going to do the same thing. And that's what's going to happen.
Publicity, yo.
Yeah, it's going to get them to get what they want or get somebody to get what they want. Black people need to be more effective for that too, by the way. It's like we don't get nothing we want. But that's another topic. But at the same time, people use things to get positions and do things because they know something is wrong, but they do it. But it's back to the story, the original story. Then I'm gonna have people talk about safe spaces and all this, the new culture we in. That lady, the trans lady, had racist tweets about Hispanic people that everybody found. And that's my whole thing. They're like, that's old. You went at Kevin Hart for something that happened before what you said. Y'all the same group. When it came off or something, he said in 2010, you said in 2011. But it's that thing though. It's all about positioning and getting all this stuff because everybody want to pretend like we perfect out here. Bro, I don't care what nobody 8 years ago. If your last example of somebody being whatever was 10 years ago, I don't like if they haven't did it in 10 years. But your last example was 10 years, they probably grew. I'm thankful they grew. So, but what y'all thought on safe spaces and how now safe spaces are being used to kind of deter different opinions at the same time, try to hold people accountable, but not really hold people accountable?
Like, this is my issue with that statement. Like, I know in the past, we had our locker room talks, in the spaces we were around or around, our tight-knit group of friends. And in a lot of ways, it was best that way because in those spaces and among those friends, at least sometimes, they would, like you say, they would hold us accountable for the things that we say and would also help to, steer our opinion if we was a little bit right or a little bit wrong. The issue that comes now is those safe spaces in the locker rooms that we had built. We can go on Facebook and find other people that share that same opinion without being told whether our opinion is right or wrong, or without even caring whether it's right or wrong. We'll go and find, let's just say, for example, if I don't like LeBron James, which I have a problem with, I do. But if I don't like LeBron James, I can go on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, everywhere, post that I don't like him, and find 1,000 people within a couple minutes that would share my same opinion, and we'll just go round and round in our locker room talk, just literally just spitting out facts that agree with us, and we don't even have to take the opinions of somebody else that's wrong. We can instantly just oust it. Like versus, in the past when I locker room talk, we were like, okay, yeah, I don't like him. This, I'm like, well, what's your problem with him? It was more of a discussion when we're among the people or whatever, versus if we just go out on the media now, it ain't no discussion. It's just we're repeating the facts to each other that we like to hear. And So it's not even so much of a locker room anymore. It's just we're just having just a almost like just a session. Just like this is just our session that we just our ranting session. We just gonna rant about this that we don't like rather than have a discussion about it, which is more it's changed now. And so and then the locker room talk, like I was saying earlier, the main issue that come from it is like, okay, what are we saying? Because when that real side of us comes out, if it just comes out and it's not being regulated or it's not, other opinions aren't being taken into account as to what we're saying, whether we're right, whether we're wrong, how does it affect the people around us, society that we in? Without that, we just go more and more down the rabbit hole to where situations to where like if somebody like to where cancel culture will end up coming into play because our opinions are no longer just in the room. They're out for everybody to see. And then once those opinions come out to where everybody just there to see them, it just becomes a mess. And then we'll get the Dave Chappelle versus Netflix. I mean, Dave Chappelle and Netflix versus the LGBTQ community. We'll get the Raiders head coach and his emails versus the NFL and the fans. And it'll spiral out because one, your opinion has never been challenged to where it could even be said it could be wrong. Yeah. And then once you go so far down that rabbit hole, it don't even matter if you challenge it at that point because I've taken so many years and time thinking that I've had, I don't even care if it's right or wrong after a certain point. So
Montay
built-in entitlement.
Yeah, what Montay is calling out is affirmation bias. So I don't get enough. Everybody in my group agree with me, so I am affirmed. I have affirmation in what I believe is right because I have thousands of people that agree with me. Even though it's 1,000 people that don't, I still have this 1,000 that give me affirmation in what I believe is right, even if some of it doesn't make sense. And then the scary thing is, I'm gonna let Sonny go and tour. But the scary thing about that is, once you start getting that fear of everybody in your group, when you disagree, and all of a sudden you're scared to disagree with everybody. That when it get really scary, Montay. When you get in this group that everybody agree with, then like, hey man, that wasn't that bad. But everybody on it, and then everybody come at you, you be like, I don't know if I want to deal with that. And then they get kind of scared because then that becomes a thing. So I'm gonna
that's when I dive head in. I'm like, yes, confrontation, let's go.
Boy, and you start to become a mob after that point, because once everybody just agree, it starts to even lower the level of what they're agreeing on to where they don't even see it as like too much of an issue. It gets to the point where, like, let's take the LeBron situation. So it gets to the point where I don't like LeBron. It gets to the point where they don't even see that as a problem anymore. Or it's just like, what's the problem with me not liking LeBron for X, Y, and Z, and not even willing to see the goodness of that? Like, not even willing to see the opposite argument anymore. Like, it gets to the point if you have so much affirmation bias, even considering another option gets to the point to where that's not even there anymore.
Feels wrong.
Yeah.
That's where it gets bad.
Yeah, Skip Bayless say LeBron hit a game winner, but he missed a free throw before. Like, oh, come on, bro. Like, bro, he hit the game winner, but he missed 2 free throws. I'm like, bro, at that point, we just nitpicking. All right, Sonny, what's your thoughts on the affirmation bias and just seeping into the locker room talk? Instead of being therapy, it becomes the mob, maybe.
Right. Well, hive mind mentality, to a degree, can cause a lot of the mobbing. But I think if you go back a little bit, what it boils down to, we think about the correlation between perception and reality. If you only perceive as a lot of people call it a rabbit hole or spiral or, one thought, your tunnel mind. If you only perceive one thing, you're only looking at one piece of the puzzle. You miss the portrait. You miss what's great about it. You miss the fact that there is an opposite of what you're thinking. A lot of people want to project that they are always right or what their opinion is right, and not so much to be perfect, because the truth of the matter is, not only do they not like confrontation. Sometimes I would say not like confrontation. Some of them do. Some of them revel at it. But I think they're fearful of standing on their own at a position and place and projecting what they see. Because once again, perception is reality. If I'm on the right side of this particular plane, you're on the left, you're always seeing everything with a higher with a further look to the east of the horizon, while I'm further look to the west. I'm always going to see something a little different than you. So no matter what we agree upon, no matter if we're standing on the same, and that's what I don't think a lot of these people in safe places that want that whole affirmation bias, a lot of them don't see is we all can't stand on the same spot. Everybody's going to have just a little bit of a different idea, just a little bit of a different zeal to really push this agenda. And eventually, you can become a mob, but it's just like a group of friends where there's that one friend that always goes out and starts to fight. Eventually, he's going to get jumped by himself one day, right?
Yep, it happens.
He's going to go out there, he's going to go reach, and he's going to start something, and then the rest of them going to like, yeah, you know what? I'm really not trying to get bruised up right now. And he kind of did do that on his own. I mean, I know we his boys, but maybe this will teach him something. You see what I'm saying? It's a dangerous thing. It's a dangerous thing. I'm always, and I've been this way for a long time. I always wanted to have a holistic view of an idea. Like, I want to know not just what I believe on it, which comes from things that I've experienced, information that I've gathered, my own research. But I want to see the opposite side of it. I want to see a 360 view. Everything, everybody that thinks a little below than me, a little above than me, to the right, to the left, who has a different influence or a different a look at this particular structure. I want to get the whole view. I don't want to just be a piece of the puzzle. I want to see the whole portrait. That way I can look at what the truth is, what we're really talking about. Because a lot of times when these groups are coming together, what are they really even talking about? Like, what's the point we speaking on? You pulling at straws, you're splitting hairs, but what are we really saying? You're not saying anything. You're talking in circles. So, sure, I can get to a point to where, okay, to avoid fighting your ideas, we can say that in your niche group, how you think and how you express things should be okay. But and this is the issue, because some groups get a little bit more of a push than others. Like, I don't want you to push your agenda or your hatred or your whatever about this particular topic on me, right? Likewise, you wouldn't want me to push my ideas on, right? Is it really a safe space if you're starting to expand and try to capitalize or overtake other people's ideas? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I honestly think it's nothing but it's kind of foolish. Like, I want people to think different than me. Like, I don't want to be in a place to where, it's a revolution. We coming and we pushing this. Black, matter of fact, I'm starting now. Black men don't cheat, and we deserve reparations. Everybody that believes that, give me. And then we uprise, and we don't talk anything about why that's a horrible idea, to a degree, or why it wouldn't surmise to be a good idea in the space and the time that we're at. Let's think about this here. So, affirmation a lot of times stifles thought, and I'm all about thought. It stifles the ability to expand your eyesight, your senses. And man, in the space of locker rooms, especially nowadays, these groups, these communities, if you will, every community wants to be right. No community wants to move together, and you can't have a town with 7 different districts and expect that thing to flourish.
That is true. I want to say this, and we're gonna get Katori on this. I don't think the civil rights don't work without Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. It don't. They vehemently disagreed on the same thing. They vehemently disagreed on the style. One person said by any means necessary. The other one said we will not fight. And when it came to it, when this dude fighting, we don't want no problem, so we're gonna go to this dude and he can negotiate. If you ain't got the dude that pushing Malcolm X to them to negotiate with this dude, you got that. Then Martin Luther King, same thing. It gets on TV, the time is the right time. I was on TV there, and these people not fighting back. All of a sudden, is the movement progress? Because now everybody get to see these people not even trying to fight, and they getting dog sick on them. They getting beat, and they not even fighting. They put their hand behind their back and get on the floor, and they still getting beat. This is horrible looking. All of a sudden, everything worked because my whole thing with black people is, I always said this, and this is just this rant. It's not even about that. if our goal is the same, I don't care how we disagree on. We can disagree how to get there. If the goal is to uplift African Americans, I don't care. You can believe in this way. You can believe in this way. You can believe in that way. You can believe in this way. But if the goal is the same, I can rock with you. If that's the goal, however we have to do it. If you believe in community building, I'm with you. We out here building the community. If you believe in getting into politics, I'm going to support you too. I might not personally agree with getting into politics. I might not personally agree with just doing that. Somebody might be like, we got to get educated first. Sonny, Montay, y'all hear this, Tori, y'all hear this all the time. We got to do this to make it. Another person, we got to do this. We got to get in politics. This person, we got to get in education. This person, we got to build at home. This person, we got to get the other groups to support us. This person, we got to get the white people to support us. If the goal is the same, it don't matter. Tori, your thoughts on the bubbles?
My thoughts are that you gotta burst the bubble at some point, because, and I feel like I say it all the time, and I feel like I'm not the only person. The world is so much more sensitive now, and I'm all for that. I'm all for people wanting to be accepted for who they are, for you being allowed to do what you want, be who you want. But at the same time, man, what people got to understand is that, very much like Sonny said, we're all encompassing the same world, but we're all standing in different places. We've all got a different point of view, and you're never gonna find somebody that's got the exact same point of view that you do. There's always, I've found in all my friends in life and all the people I've really actually known in life, I don't think there's ever been anybody I've met or known that I agree with every little thing that they do, and I don't ever expect to find one. It's just, man, and I'm as far as away from politically correct as you can get at certain points. And that is what it is. Believe me, I'm working on my shortcomings in therapy. It's a process. But I'm a very straightforward person. I'm also a person that's done a lot of drugs and done a lot of crazy shit and done a lot of horrible things. I tell people all the time, I was a bad person for a lot longer than I was a good person. In a lot of ways, I'm learning how to be a good person still to this day. Almost 30 years into life, I'm still learning how to be a good person. So I think that we as a society, as we get more connected to different people throughout social media, we also have to remember that everyone's different and everyone's going to been through different things. Everyone's going to learn differently. Everyone's going to react differently. I understand having a safe space. I understand the sanctity of locker room talk, but once the locker room talk leaves the locker room, you've got to be cognizant of the things that are going to come with that. And a lot of people, once they get lost in that Facebook group that agrees with everything, it goes from LeBron had a bad game to we should hang that nigga from the tree. What? So I just, to the people out there, I say be cognizant of the different ideas around you, because even if they don't make sense to you, that doesn't mean that they won't make a difference in your life later on. I'm a firm believer of energy flows where attention goes. So that is what it is.
Yeah, and a lot of it is what we've all been saying. It's we all have different thoughts. Everybody raised different. Everybody, you got different religions, even in Christianity, you got different sections of Christianity.
I was about to say, take a Catholic and a Methodist, put them in the same room, and I bet you'd come out with two completely different thoughts on the Bible.
At a Pentecostal, you got another one. So you got a whole different set of groups and a whole bunch of different set of beliefs. And it, not only that, each state different. The South might not be different, but when I went to New York way different than anywhere in the South.
Mm-hmm. Bruh, try being a nigga in Indiana. It's real, bruh. I grew up with the N word hurled with the hard R hurled at me so much that I mean it's just a part of the everyday. You know, I done been that friend that's got stomped out by 6 niggas in the park because he wasn't ready to turn his cheek on that fight.
Yeah,
it is what it is. Everybody's different. People just gotta learn that. It just sucks that we have to say it so many times, that so many people have to say the same thing, that we can't just understand it a little bit. A little bit of understanding goes a long way. I'm gonna say that. A little bit of understanding goes a long way.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, something that I always have believed in, something that I've really been heavy on now. You know, everybody says communication is key. Right? Well, I consider comprehension as a door in which it's supposed to unlock. We never get to that point. We don't get to that point because we don't allow ourselves to accept that things can be different and things can be. We should look at it as something that's beautiful, right? We should look at it as something that should be, that's something that should be kind of almost admired. Like, I want to see the individualistic views that you have, because
variety is the spice of life.
Exactly. I haven't been able to understand that. Like, you know what? I don't know what it is to be rich. And you move different. I gotta understand why you do that. But you know what? You don't know what it is to struggle and overcome. And that's my whole calling card. Like, let's get together and just let's just vibe. Let's see what that is. Right? You don't even like me just because of what I look like. You don't like me because, I can't understand you because you have a smaller competency to understand big words. That's fine. Right? We can get over that, but let's get to the core of who we are. Like, is eventually everything we do in life, we realize this. You can't go through life by yourself, or if you do, it's a very lonely and unprofitable life. In order for us to be successful in any endeavor we do, we need people in order to pay into, use our services, or the relationships in order to make us move further. Right. So why do we endeavor so much to fight people? Right? Oh, why? I've never understood it. Just because somebody thinks different than me, just because somebody says something that I feel may be offensive. Right? I'm offended that the sun comes up and hits me in the eye the way it do. And I got astigmatism at night, and I don't see nothing but stars when I'm driving on the road playing. I'm offended. Like, somebody pay attention to me. That's how people act. I'm like, that's. Eek.
But in reality, let's get a little deeper. In reality, we train this way nowadays. We are trained to do this. We are trained. It's born from politics and cliques. You go to high school, you get a clique. Sonny and my brother and Trevor, they all talk proper. They act white. How many white people actually talk proper? Not many. But again, it's that competence of, being white means being good and proper and educated and all this. But if you're educated, you can't be black, because who are you? You don't know about the hood struggle. Like, yes, I do. I'm educated and I'm from the hood. So I don't know what you mean.
Yes, I do. True.
Yes, I am. You don't tell me I'm not black. I've been in the college courses, met vice presidents of banks, and I randomly was Sonny know this. You go to Taco Bell, You get a $5 burrito, and 2 dudes are having a shootout at Taco Bell in Hattiesburg.
Facts.
Then we go back and they have a shootout again. I'm like, hey, bro, we just not coming back. But
that Taco Bell's not the move.
I don't know why they were shooting at Taco Bell, bro. I scrapped up some change Sunday though. We can walk over there. Southern Mill. We scrap up $1 off the ground. You get that $5 burrito when it was 99 cents, and that thing was big. Boy, your life was good, boy.
When they first came out with the Frito burrito with the hot chips in it, man. $1 was heaven.
Yeah. And it was, and you think about, and like I said, you can do both. It's like we got these cliques. It's from high school. It's from politics. Everybody got red or blue. Same thing with gangs. Anybody ever notice the same color as gangs? Red and blue. Red and blue. Mm-hmm. Democrat, Republican, gang members. Red and blue. Everything's like separated. You got this
tribalism,
group,
man.
You got this group and this group. In school, you got the smart kids. You got the jocks. You got this group of kids, and they all sit together. And all of a sudden, now you got this. Then now everybody begin to be slowly separated over time. Whereas used to, certain kids can go together. They can go, okay, I can go over there and talk to this group. I always been that kid, by the way. I was a dude playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And I was on the football team.
Right.
Boy.
So like,
I was selling Adderall to cheerleaders.
Well, he was. We know what group Tori was in, because we know that group too. Everybody knows that kid. I was in that group too. I sold them. I burned DVDs, so I was in Tori group too. So he did pills. I did the DVD. You know they were friends, Tori. The DVD dude and the pill dude was friends.
Yeah. I was selling candy and I was selling goddamn medicinal. Yeah. I was covering the market.
Yeah, you do
entrepreneurship at its finest.
You do a combo deal.
See, you give them I give them the Adderall, you give them the movie to watch while they up studying.
Yeah, so we should have come up with all that stuff.
I bought my first copy of Best Known Unknown and my first weed. You don't even know what to call it at that point in time. Yeah, he gave me a packet of weed. What is that?
But yeah,
got a dime bag and a DVD.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's different. It's different groups though, bro. Like serious, like you learned it in high school, and I noticed the older I got, those cliques became more pronounced, and it wasn't as much. Yeah. It wasn't as much like, okay, now I'm in this group. I don't see nobody else in this group that I used to be in, but me. When I go in this group, I'm the only person to shift over to this group. Now these groups are like kind of way tighter. And then as older I got, it seems to be horrible now. Like it's like, oh, I go to school and everybody just clicked up in this corner at break. They in that corner.
The separation is real.
Yeah, it's not even. It's not even like together. Like I don't even think they don't even make the chairs together. In most of high schools I've been, like the tables don't even be together.
Well, now they got plastic partitions too.
Yeah, so you got all this other stuff going on, and then you got politics, which is terrible. Politics is now. Boy,
ain't nothing like being a Democrat in a Republican state.
Boy, I'm saying, if you're a Democrat, you better agree with everybody. You better not think about voting Republican, or they gonna threaten your life. If you and don't be a Democrat, think about. And then they use these good versus evil terms. In some reason, I be listening to them like,
really, it's all bad.
You a Nazi if you were a Democrat. I mean, you a Nazi if you're a Republican. You're a communist if you're a Democrat. And I'm like,
and then see, there we go. You're a communist, but I still want my Social Security check. I bet you do. Yeah. I bet you do. But let's once again we circle around the definitions. Go look up the definition of communism, and then come and tell me how against it you are, and then look at how it's impacted your life.
But my point is, then we're gonna go to Montay, and then everybody gonna get the round table, and then we're gonna try to close this up. But these things, we make it like the greater good. Like our opinions are the greater good, and their opinions are almighty evil. Like manifest destiny. This is meant to be ours because my opinion is destiny of how the world works. And that other opinion will literally ruin America and my life. And they will take my guns, even though nobody ever said it. Because for some reason that's what evil people would do. So of course they must do what evil people do. And Republicans will lower taxes and never progress because that's what they do, because they're evil. And once we get an evil argument to the point that I'm righteous and you're evil, we can't come back from that. Because if I think Sonny
nothing like a high horse to keep everything nice and separate.
If I look at Sonny and I be like, Sonny, I can't stand you because you evil and you're trying to ruin my life. If Sonny trying to ruin my life, there is no coming back from Sonny.
There ain't no coming back from that.
And if Sonny think I'm trying to ruin his life, we're not coming back from that. Like,
it's dead.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm thinking you trying to ruin me. We going at it, and that's it. Till somebody can't be here, and that's how politics is. That done seeped into society. That done seeped into groups, and
everything. Yes. Give me a cold chill thinking about it.
Yeah, and it's everywhere, bro. People tell you ain't black if you don't do what they say. People say you... Like I say, it's only a few people I reserve the word coon for. Because people just throw that out to anybody disagree with them.
Yep.
What The guy used to be with Mike Tyson. What's his name? Don King.
Okay.
Don King. He on that list. What's that? Hey, minute. It's hard to get on that list, bro. I'm telling you, it's hard for you to get on my list. But what's the Jason Whitlock? He on my list 100%, and it might be
100%.
And them, other than them, they say stuff because they have to be on the list. But everybody else is kind of, I just want to see how you got there. And there's other people. It's a lot of YouTubers, by the way, that say a lot of stuff y'all agree with. That they just trying to get a check. And I don't know if I call that what name. I ain't decided if I put them on the list because a lot of people just say stuff because they know it's easy money.
Shock value.
Yeah, like yo, like Candace Owens, I really want to have an honest conversation with her because I can't put on that list yet till I get because I don't know how she grew up. So I want to have that conversation, but I know she say stuff to get a check and get on Fox News randomly when black people say something. Because she will not get on Fox News unless a black person had an opinion.
Scapegoat. Then anyway, we ain't gonna talk about it.
Yeah, but that's how it is. But I want to know her thoughts. Maybe it's real, maybe it's not. They using her for that. They're clearly using it for that. But I want to know her.
I'm glad somebody wants to hear her thoughts because I'd be changing the channel on that hoe.
See, I'm a conversation. So I want to see if she really believe it so I can actually. Don King, the reason I put Don King on there because he went up to them people and said Michael Jackson in front of them white people and said Michael Jackson is a dancing, and I'm like, what? So you look it up, Don.
But at least Don King was entertaining.
I don't care. He was dancing for them white people. I know that.
Hey, he danced to the bank for them white people and sold Mike Tyson down the river while he was jigging.
Exactly, and he did a lot. Look up Don King history. You know what I'm talking about. So it's only like 2 or 3 people on that list for me, but and the other ones I'm kind of I gotta watch for because I don't know if I count just trying to get a bag for that because I know a lot of y'all do a lot of bad stuff for a bag. So, Montay, your thoughts?
You know, I was thinking, I realized back when we was in like high school and stuff, I like those locker room talks a lot better because in them times you didn't always just go looking for those locker room talks like when in the barbershop, everywhere else, you just ended up finding them. And it was in those moments when you would give your opinion that your opinion had a lot better chance of actually being challenged, which is something that when you have opinions or when you're talking a lot, you need your opinion challenged just for the purpose of growth. Like you get to learn new knowledge.
It's a constructive argument.
You get to learn different opinions, learn different perspectives about it, and it'll grow that into a discussion and a back and forth. Versus now, a lot more times we go looking for our specific locker rooms, and then in our locker rooms that we go look for, whether it's in social media or everywhere else, your opinion ain't gonna get challenged. It's just you're going with more like-minded individuals, and they'll stunt your growth to where, like I said, the affirmation bias gets grown in more, and then you get to the point where you just, where our podcast, like not our podcast, but podcasts and everything come up to where you're not doing them for the purpose of getting other opinions or perspectives or growth or discussion. You're doing it literally just to give your opinion and not care who else has to say anything about it. And there's a lot of podcasts, there's a lot of channels, a lot of things that are literally just giving out our opinions, not for the purposes of discussion or anything. It's just to the point where I'm just going to tell you what I believe or what I think is right. And it gets to the point you'll get to where you think your opinion is a fact. And once it gets there, and
that's why I'm always willing to argue on Twitter.
Montay, I'm gonna tell you the truth. It get to the point where it even get beyond that, where it ain't even your opinion no more. And that's what I was talking about a minute ago. You just say opinion, you're not gonna get a lot of views. I'm gonna just say something because I know a lot of people gonna watch Hodge Twins.
Shock value,
Sonny. Yeah, I just called out the Hodge Twins randomly. Joe ain't here. Somebody had to catch a stray. Just say stuff they know people can get a lot of views on because their channel wasn't doing good. But you know what it is.
Yeah.
Sonny, your thoughts?
My thoughts on that.
Oh no, on over the political and school and all that former locker room and how have you noticed it changed as you got older?
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, when when you mature, there's less space for certain things, and to be honest, like my experience. So I've always been an eclectic guy. I was able, and I pride this. This is something I like that's a gift of mine. I was able to be able to get my foot in each and every single door that there was. Because I always, for me it was okay, acceptance. Like I can be okay with all you, if you can accept all of me. It's whatever. As I did get older, college was a big change, I thought. Because now, whereas in high school, yeah, you had your opinion and yeah, you were challenged. We just argued for the sake of arguing. In college, you got to get into a niche, and then you had to become the characteristics of that niche. Otherwise, you find yourself outside that niche. And I think it got more aggressive and more inclusive as it got older. Like now, I did it as a social experiment to a degree, but I worked in food and beverage for the majority of my working years, and so the thing with people who work in food and beverage, there's certain things, and if you've worked there, there's certain you're gonna have the junkie, you're gonna have the work whore, you're gonna have so everybody knows who everybody is, and you don't step foot. Hey man, hey, she saved lives, but so everybody knows what yard they're in, and you don't cross paths with somebody in another yard if you don't want to deal with because so I feel like now in the scope of what things look like in society, because it even changed now since the whole COVID deal. People are not really out there being as social as they were. And now, like you say, you got these Twitter beefers. You got these people who can sit behind keyboards and project whatever they want you to think that they have. I think it's funny. Like you said, I think honestly, I don't foresee it getting any better. I foresee it getting worse. Harder to get an interesting perspective, and harder to get very valuable conversation sometimes because of it. But that's just what I think.
Yeah, Unico is here. He coming in the 11 minute, but I'm gonna give him a quick rundown and he get his final thoughts. Basically, we're gonna give Tori his thing, and we're gonna give Joe his final thoughts on everything. So I'm gonna give him a quick rundown. Basically, we're talking about locker room talk, how locker room was a safe space, and how safe spaces have expanded. We talked about the John Gruden, how that happened, how he thought he was in the safe space, but it got leaked, and how it can end up being bad. We talked about how politics has become safe spaces, and how people that disagree in these spaces have now fought, and then now we all in this same place. And how high school used to have cliques, and how everything now is a clique, and how society overall has become a clique, and how it sometimes could be therapeutic. It is therapeutic to have a locker room talk. We discussed that. But sometimes when we can't conversate and have a real discussion, these thoughts end up becoming more of a mob and become more mob mentality, where people actually start to be afraid to denounce what they hear in a group or see in a group, and be like, I don't think that's right. We use the LeBron James discussion, how somebody could be in a LeBron James love group or hate group, and they see LeBron and he does something bad, but they in a LeBron group, so they don't want to really say LeBron shouldn't have did that because they know everybody gonna attack him. And that's a simplified version of the whole thing, and that's how society as a whole is. If I'm in a Democrat group, oh man, I kind of like that Republican idea. Hey, you better never say that, Sonny, do not be in a Democrat group and say a Republican had a good idea. That is the worst thing you can ever do. So that's a bigger scope than the LeBron argument, but it's a similar scope. Like Skip Bayless gonna say LeBron hit a game winner, but he missed 2 free throws. It gets ridiculous at some point because when you don't have those thoughts. So we're gonna give Tori his thoughts, then we're gonna give Joe his final thoughts, and everybody we're gonna end it and give everybody their goodbyes and their socials.
just to use it as a callback to the music episode we have, I feel like we run the risk of everyone's thought process becoming cookie cutter. Like, the beauty of the world is that everyone thinks so differently about things. I mean, me personally, just to use it as an analogy, I'm a guy. I've ate pizza with a homeless person and snorted cocaine with a rich person, and I've seen the beauty in both of those things. You gotta realize, man, that variety really is the spice of life, and all of these differing opinions and fucking different thoughts and viewpoints, these are the beautiful things that make up the world we live in. These are the different colors. How boring is a painting that was painted in all one color? Didn't nobody really enjoy black and white TV? It wasn't lit till we got color TV. The colors are the differences of opinions. Don't be afraid to argue, but don't argue. Don't, if you got a hill worth dying on, make sure it's really a hill you're really, really ready to die on. I see so many people taking stands on hills that they are not really ready to die on. People making long-term decisions on short-term judgments, and that's the problem in the world. Simple as that.
Yeah, and I'm gonna give y'all an example before we get off, and Joe give his thoughts, and everybody gonna give their final words. So, if you read the Quran, it's very similar to the Bible. Just for the people that don't know, it's very similar. Like the end different.
You'd almost swear Allah and God were the same dude.
And for people that don't know, I saw this too before I go off. In the Christian Bible, God is actually called Allah a few times, but people don't recognize it because a lot of y'all don't really read your Bible. But I taught Sunday school and at 16, and I taught Bible study on Wednesday. So I come from a very Christian background. I have read that book thoroughly, and I know he's been called it. And I used to argue. Well, I wonder why people used to argue when they say it's not Allah. I'm like, God is literally called Allah in this. He called Emmanuel. Jesus called Emmanuel too.
Yahweh.
Yeah, so it's a lot like if when somebody said different name because they come from a different part of the world that experience the same thing, it's okay. And by the way, like I said, the Quran, when I was a heavy Christian doing it, they taught us that was the evil book and you should never read it. But then when you actually start reading it, you realize this is the same book. Jesus is actually mentioned more in the Quran than he is in the Bible. He actually did more in the Quran than he did in the Bible. But that's the interesting fact. Joe, your thoughts before we go out, because we almost at the hour mark.
Shout out to season 2 of the Bible. That was lit. That gave more backstory. Season 1 was lit. It was more lit. It had a lot more action. But season 2 of the Bible was lit. Locker room talk, country club. I've been on that. Man, you just can't have them no more. It's a wrap. Because me playing sports my whole life, I know we said some things that we would regret if anybody heard we said it. We've said things that are not going to fly, whether it's about women, whether it's about a certain group of people. But at the time, though, that was your safe space, like going amongst your teammates. And I don't know if that necessarily makes you like this super duper hypocrite or I don't know what it would make you fake. I guess that would make you fake, because if you talk around certain people a certain way, that would make you fake. But I think everybody needs a place to be them truest selves, even if they are 100% racist or something. Let them get that out.
Yeah.
And so also and then moving towards the aspect of like these different groups, they do find a safe space amongst people that are like-minded or like them on the low or on the high. I saw what you did about I saw your tweet about QAnon that you had posted, how they gathered together for the second coming of JFK today in 2021 in real life. Like took off on a Tuesday to go do this in Texas, of all places. But it's 50 degrees down there, so they're losing their shit. So with that being said, I honestly think, like, groups do find people are looking for a safe space. And, you know, actually, I've been watching some of these people go troll these Trump rallies and stuff like that. And it's so
much fun.
I'm just realizing the simplification of people. Like, they just think one way without allowing. So one of the guys, his name is Michael Picard. I definitely suggest that you go watch him. But one of the things that he says is he has a shirt that's like, let Allah, what is it? Allah bless America. They're running off talking about that Allah, their Allah is a pedophile or POP word. They're trying to say that, you know, y'all talking about the same person. You can either call me Nico Williams or you can call me Joe Jones. Either way it goes, you talking about the same person. And I'm no different than either one just because you call me something else. So that's where I'm at. But y'all, I definitely suggest that y'all go study to show thyself approved, since we talking about church camps and stuff. Study to show thyself approved that Democrats and Republicans are pretty much the same people. And I think that if they could get past that stuff and start thinking about you know, each other for once, maybe their ideas wouldn't be so I don't know, opposite, because they're really
down with the filibuster.
Yeah, so that's what I got to say on that. What y'all been up to today?
Man, Joe, I was waiting for a sick story from you, because you're a Medea character in my mind. So I was waiting for you to come in and tell me about your something crazy going on.
That'll be on the next episode. That's gonna be on Just a Fan tomorrow. That's Just a Fan. It come out soon. It come out tomorrow. So Joe gonna tell us a story about it. But now we almost at the hour mark. I didn't really want this to go viral, but we are here now. So Montay, everybody, you know what to do. Go do promo. Set promo. Let's go.
Man, make sure to come catch your boy on the Broke Dudes podcast, where you get even more hilariousness, more realness, and more truth and opinions. I'll be found there. Of course, on my social media, and all the links to all of the apps and the pages are on the descriptions below. Make sure y'all come and support. Appreciate you.
Sonny D, my God.
Yes, sir. First off, glad to be here. Good talk, good camaraderie. Right now, all my handles aren't put together. I'm just on Facebook. I do have a YouTube page, but ain't nothing on it yet. But I got this podcast kicking in the works, and as soon as I do that, I'm gonna get it to Zelmay, and we'll get it popping. I'm also gonna frequent this as much as I can. Usually, I do the New Heights Growth Group discussion piece, Unplugged, on Tuesday nights. So whenever I'm not doing that, I'm gonna try to come in here and kick it with you guys.
Yes.
All right, Tori, what's good?
You already know. AfroComedy765 on Twitter. Catch me at your local punk venue pushing pills out the porta potty. You already know what it is. Open and ready for any and all Twitter arguments. Links in the description below.
Everything except his 4chan is in the description below.
Yeah, hey, and we'll get it in there. We'll get it in there. Run them hits up.
All right, Montay. I mean, Unico.
I'm just waiting for our fans to dox him live when we're recording this one time.
Hey, they ain't even got to.
I'm waiting. Man, what if I become the leaker and you find out about it? That was
hey, it's it's okay with me. We live in Indiana. You can have fun doxing me. It's cool.
But you know, it's your boy Nico Williams. You're not QO_Williams. You know that's the Twitter handle. Do you hear me with you, Nico Williams? It's a thing, I guess. Have you heard? That's probably a thing too. But have we done it in a while? No. But it's all good. Shout out to real life. But hopefully we get it.
So subscribe, like, and subscribe.
Yeah, like it's gonna surprise you. Like, new episode of Have You Heard? And I'm gonna just be in my little robe giving y'all the gossip. But we're gonna get to that point, man, where maybe we can start working 4 hours a day. That would be beautiful if I could just move my life. This ain't about me. Shout out to Caves, your boy Nico Williams, and that's my stuff, man. Y'all know the links and all that. It's on this page, so yeah.
You know I'm here. Guess what? I'm always here. You see me almost every day. Probably gonna see me twice a day soon, so you're gonna get tired of me. But like and subscribe. Merch link in bio. Zell Reacts. I need to actually do more of these. So I love y'all. Thank y'all for listening. Peace.